Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the which one? Electric vehicles. We're doing electric vehicles and plug. So I think we had some like hourly higher low plays set up. Obviously, the gap up messed that up. It's just I'm sure everybody's following the situation in Georgia. The Senate runoff, right? So all of the sectors that would be correlated to a Democratic victory or correlated bullishly gapped up, right? So we had like MJ and EVs and solar all had gap up opens, and then of course there, due to the madness at the end of the day, there was some selling right at the end by the end of it. So what we're dealing with now is really not so different from what we were looking at before. It's just another day. It's just another day for Tesla, another all-time high, another highest close, and another day with another higher low, right? So we've been in this pattern for quite some time. It's now the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th day with a clear higher low. So realize, yes, we can move very swiftly into all-time high territory, right? Because there's no resistance or there's no overhead resistance. However, consolidations can be very swift, right? Like this one can be very swift. They can be very swift because these are all poor location right now, right? So everybody who's entered after this higher low, right, after this pullback is relatively poor location compared to like people who have entered here, right? So anybody who's a momentum trader who's in here, they're still going long, and where are their stops? Their stops are probably on like hourly or 4-hour higher lows or these daily lows. And so if sellers step in, they can trigger a lot of stops. And what you'll typically find is price can, very swiftly cut through price levels that don't have a lot of volume there, and then, come back and test where there was a lot of volume. So just be mindful. Okay, guys, don't get caught up in the euphoria. Oh, I see. Yeah. So let's see. This we're just looking. Whenever the bears were able to take this hourly trend from the bulls, then we will start scouting, or bulls will start scouting a daily higher low with anything over. And I prefer this one as like the significant higher low, 614.23. But I wouldn't fault you if you are considering that one to be the last daily higher low. So I don't really care about this line anymore, and you can see we're making our way up into the band now. You know what? There was another consolidation that was like there. Here we go. like we can get very swift consolidations. Now this wasn't really a liquidity break type, because it wasn't like just a fall from grace, but it's still like the point stands, right? That don't let the fact that I'm sure many of you have likely enjoyed a lot of gains in Tesla, right? I'm actually going to buy one of these from the trading it so much, but don't get caught up. The market can turn on you. So that being said, it held up fine into the end of the day, right? So we'll just check out this hourly trend, and we are just looking for another hourly higher low with anything over 731.12 being one, and the ADMA, continues to hold price just fine. It pierces a little bit, but for the most part, the bulls are just holding it, stair stepping up on the ADMA. Okay, so what we're looking out for tomorrow, the potential, the further down that we get to this support here, the more likely the bears can threaten with a trend change, right? Like here they got a lower high, but didn't amount to anything but a higher low and 2 higher highs. But the idea is they need some range, right? So this, let's say you had 2 red bars down, that was enough for this lower high print. So you're already in that like territory here, but things still look relatively okay, right? So, but if we start pulling back further, get closer, maybe close this gap right down to the 736s, then we'll definitely be scouting that lower high. So, this is it's fine right now, but this can be very different in tomorrow's open. So just be mindful of that, right? Like if let's say you're planning for an hourly higher low right now, but then we open all the way down here. I don't really know if you want to make a higher low play. If anything, maybe you want to scale into like the range down here, right? Where there's at least a little bit of previous market agreement there. Okay. All right. So ideally we'll hold that low 731.12, break over to higher highs over 774 to all-time highs again. And again, if we are to approach the channel resistance, right, and have like at least 3 time frames, like hourly, 4-hour, daily overbought, I think what am I saying? The weekly is already overbought. But my point is, if we can get the shorter term time frames to align with these higher time frames being overbought as well into the channel resistance, I think that's like a reasonable short. So let's see here. Let's see what else we got to look at. Yeah, okay. Yeah, especially now that, I see that the monthly R1, the yearly R1, I should say, the yearly R1 is up there as well. That definitely helps, adds a little confidence to that. So yeah, if we can get weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, all those things extended, I mean, even the small ones, right, down to the 1 minute. At that moment, I would definitely be scaling into a potential short off of this level here. It's pretty much the Psych 1000 level too. So there's a bunch of confluence here, but of course, always caution warranted when shorting blue sky bulls. If you are able to, maybe you want to, like sell some options, right? Write some options so you can at least have time on your side. All right, that's pretty much it. If the bears are able to defend 774 and break to lower lows under 731.12, then we'll be looking for that daily higher low, anything over 614.23 being one. And where would I look for that? Like if we were to start coming down from here, I would still be happy with this level. I don't remember when that was set up specifically, but I would still be happy with something like that. Okay, so basically it's just, scaling into where all this market agreement was. You can see how the volume picks up here, right? So, alrighty. Oh man. So I guess I was being a bit too conservative with a potential short here on NIO. This was set up, well, let me start with the daily, right? So the daily trend has gone bullish again. However, we were being mindful of the potential of us to just stay range bound, and it looks like that is potentially what's happening now, right? I was actually hoping, we can get a little fake out into this, channel resistance. Well, this previous channel support, now potentially resistance. That's what I was hoping to do, but missed that short, being a bit too conservative. That being said, the bears, have lots of proving to do, right? Yes, we're in sideways range, but this is a pretty impulsive trend change. If we were going to see like a higher low and higher high out of here, this is the structure that you would want to see. If we were kind of just chopping up, boop, 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 like that or whatever. I mean, obviously not sideways and stuff like that. But yeah, if we were just chopping up to test this, then continuation would be really questionable. But this is a pretty impulsive looking piece of price action structure right now. That's not to say that we will break out of this range. I'm just saying it's a pretty good look. All right, so right now bulls had the rejection from the all-time high resistance, pretty much a double top, and bulls are just scouting for a daily higher low with anything over 42.23 being one. Let's see if they confirmed. There's not a confirmed hourly downtrend yet, but this is absolutely enough range that we would be anticipating an hourly lower high at least. Should we get a lower high and lower low? I don't know, but we can definitely anticipate, given all this range, 11%, that a lower high is likely to print under 55.28. So looking for that tomorrow. Ideally, you'll get some 5-minute overbought conditions. Maybe rather high up, but I still think that'd be fine. Just looking into, shorting into all this chop area over here. I think that'd be fine, especially if you were like starting with this low area. Yeah. Right, because price action, it has memory. I wouldn't even fault you if you started like a little bit under it, like that. Because if we were to see a bounce here, I would not be surprised if this previous low just acted as resistance, right? So I wouldn't mind starting to scale in there, especially if the 5-minute was starting to get overbought. And because our thesis is just for a daily higher low, just like that short that we took back here off of the channel resistance or the channel support and our resistance, we're just looking for another daily higher low. So something like that, again, just like that, right? Okay. And how would we can just scale right into that if it gets extended. So we're looking for that potential trend change to the bears tomorrow to have bulls looking for that daily higher low. Okay, so workhorse short, not bad, gave you 3 fills. And so this is a situation where, well, I guess let's start from the beginning. So we're watching workhorse because it is very range bound. Excuse me. It's range bound, and it's range bound while range bound, right? So right now it's range bound in this upper half, but it's also range bound in this large structure here. It just so happens that this upper half has been containing the structure for now, and it's trying to make its way up to the top of the structure. And so we were looking for the potential of a short here because of these previous lows that got put in here. On the hourly time frame, you'll see a bunch of pivots there. That's why that yellow line is there. So it was really just a double top, short off of a double top. And let's check the hourly trend to see if we'll be looking for that daily higher low yet. So no confirmed hourly downtrend, and really this move is, there's really not been much hourly consolidation since this last higher low over here. So this is a bit of a pullback. It is definitely technically an hourly higher low. This is some sideways and then some pullback. I would consider this the last higher low actually, but it's just such a strong move that I just consider this kind of one leg, right? Either way, we will be looking for an hourly higher low with anything over 22.11 being one. There's a lot of space in which the bulls can do so. The ADM hourly ADMA is still there. So if this is a situation where if you got these 3 fills and you didn't take off like at least half of this position, that's probably pretty risky because this is such a strong move, right? So you want to make sure this is a fine short to take because your parameters are met. There's price action resistance and there's extension. That's all you really need to make a trade happen, right? And so ideally, like if you just took this position off, it's for 5% gain. That would lower your cost basis quite a bit. But ideally, you took like half of it off of everything, so that would be like here, right? And then your lower cost basis to the middle of these 2 quadrants here, right? So if you took off half somewhere near the bottom, excuse me, then your excuse me, then your new average price is up here, right? So your original RR is this. Now you move it up to line up there, and this is your new RR, right? And you can also drop this stop loss to here because obviously, if you get stopped out there, it's probably not a good look. I mean, I'm sure you can give it a little bit of wiggle room. Maybe it's a break fake out, but either way, your new RR becomes a lot better, right? So, yeah, that's just, I guess, a little trade management point or whatever tip. All right, so will we be looking for an hourly lower high here? Honestly, I wouldn't be terribly confident in it. It can certainly happen, but the bulls look very strong here still. So we're looking to be confident that that hourly higher low has been set. We just want to see a 5-minute trend, and this is not a very convincing 5-minute bounce by any means, right? It looks kind of flaggy, right? I don't really want to see these Christmas colors, but that being said, it does have like a ascending triangle kind of look to it. So we'll have to see tomorrow, right? I don't really love it as an hourly lower high play, just because I know we're in the middle of this we're range bound, right? So it could very easily, just like what I did over here, very easily whip up to the top of this area here. So I think if anything, if I had taken this trade, I would just be happy with this trade, see if it can play out, and if not, I would just look back up here to go short. But if you wanted to get aggressive, look for a double top play, that's definitely on the table. Okay, so if bears can show up tomorrow, defend 2480, break below 2321, then we'll be scouting for that daily higher low with anything over 1972 being one. Okay, so that short pretty much just hitting target now. Typically, if I'm that close to the target, I'm there at the desk watching the trade, I'll just take it off there. I don't like, especially even if I miss this and then it closed here, I'd still probably take it off by the end of the day, right? Because, do I really care so much about a couple percent? I don't know. Like the RR on that was fine, right? Plus, we only really got this one fill, so the real trade was like this, right? And then if we use that original target, a bit shy, that's still 4-1 on your money, right? So I probably would have just taken it off, but that being said, the bears are still very strong, right? The hourly trend is bearish. There's likely to be another hourly lower high. EMAs are going down. That being said, if we were to get back down here, I still like this play that we mentioned the other day. It's not great, right? Because obviously this chart does not look terribly good, right? We are just kind of stepping down. But that being said, this wasn't a lot of. It was a lot of follow through. It's just that we came back to test these highs again, and I just wouldn't be surprised if, because we've put in so much volume here, I wouldn't be surprised if like by a test of 35, sure, so like a break with a lower low with not that much follow through, and you can see that you have this highest close here, right, where the volume starts to pick up again. So I don't hate it. Something like this, like an hourly oversold bounce into the trend line support, and this knowing that highest close is there. A back test, yeah, I don't hate it. All right. And we would just be looking for a daily lower high. All right, so anything under 47.69 would be that daily lower high. But right now we're looking for either a daily higher low. With this play, I mean, we're looking either for a daily higher low or like a bear break with minimal follow through, right? And if it breaks too much into this area where the volume starts to taper off, then maybe we won't be so interested in the trade anymore. Alternatively, you can kind of drag out the range a little bit to make sure that you're like accounting for some of this, right? Maybe you don't think it'll make it through the whole thing, but it's too much difference, right? So we can open up your range a bit and then right to the same target, so something like that. Maybe if you want to be a bit more conservative, right, you'll have to size down a bit because you're scaling it into a larger range. But you know, if your zone is up here, then I feel like we could get down here without too much trouble and then find some support, if that makes sense. And we're just being mindful that we are still looking out for this potential weekly higher low for XPEV, right? We're trying to hold the 8 EMA right now. The bulls, I should say, are trying to hold the 8 EMA right now, and they're just not doing such a good job of it at the moment. All right, so daily EMA is still acting as resistance. Yes, that's it. Alrighty, Pluggo. Do we not set up a short there? Thought we did. Whatever. Okay, let's see. So not really a double top, but a rejection from the previous resistance of, well, the current resistance, 37.51. Looks like the potential of a lower high is being set here. Well, I shouldn't say that it's a lower high because technically it's a higher high over that one. Let me kill these boxes. Don't need them anymore. These down here. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. All right. So we had that median line test, the back test of this trend line held, which mentioned that like little fake out play with this price action trend change. So remember, the context was the key for that, by the way. Yeah, and so we saw a big continuation day today. Plug is one of the sectors, as a hydrogen cell battery name. So it saw the gap up as it was correlated bullishly to Democratic news, whatever. So big gap up, rejected from all-time high resistance, pulling back now, looking for an hourly higher low with anything over 32.05 being one. Like if you want to, like I don't hate it. I don't hate it. There's been so many rejections here now that looking for a top fish over there, I don't think that's a bad play. It's just that the bulls are relatively healthy here, right? Nice big strong push, and there's an hourly higher low potentially being set off the EMA. But we are just kind of sideways too, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw some chop, right? Some consolidation. They're not so dissimilar to these events, right? So we had a little pop up above when they were previous all-time high, and then consolidation. I don't know. I don't love it, but I mean, personally, I would just wait to get up here, right? If we can get up here to look for a short, I think that'd be a lot better. Especially if we can get the daily overbought again, and we can get it's like Tesla, right? If we can get the hourly, 4-hour daily all overbought, the lower time frames as well, into the channel resistance, then that's probably our best shot at shorting, all-time high bulls. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, just looking for that hourly high low tomorrow. However, if bears should show up tomorrow, defend this high of 36.86, break below 34.45, they'll change that trend bearish and have bulls scouting for a daily higher low with anything over 30.40 being one. But, you wouldn't want to see rejection there as a bull. Ideally, the bulls will see a little bit more follow through into all-time highs if the market should be able to shake off this, what protest, riot, whatever you want to, the happenings in Washington. There we go. No politics. I believe that's all. Thanks for tuning in. I forgot what I usually say. Thanks for tuning. I will see you all soon.